Hey y'all, is my hair too big? What do you think? I kind of like it. I've been watching the Southern Woman channel way too much lately. God, I love that channel. Okay, today I've come to talk to you about what I used to call miracles. They might be miracles, I don't know. But you could call them a lot of things. You could call them paranormal experiences or karma, maybe. Don't know. But I thought you guys would get a kick out of this. So let me adjust the camera a little bit. And I'm going to get down to it. Oh, hey, yeah. Tonight I do have a sugary snack. My sugary snack is a Sonic orange cream slush. My son caved and got the waffle caramel Snickers waffle cone sundae and a corn dog and an apple Sprite. He was way more stressed out than I was when we went to Sonic. This will take care of my nerves right here. Yeah, my nerves are bad because my mama can't remember that she's taking her pain pills, and she asks every 3 minutes, and she's probably going to come knocking on the door here in a minute and ask for some. So it's unfortunate, but it's what it'd be like. So let me put this down. Alright, so miracle number 1. I've had others happen. These are just 2 I've plucked out of my memory for you. This happened when I was about 18 years old. The first thing I did before I got out of high school, I wasn't even 18 years old yet, was to move out of my family's house. I had a little job selling shoes, moved in with a friend, very quickly left town. I moved from Central California down to Orange County in Southern California. Moved in with someone that I'd been working with over the summers, a cook actually. She's 17 years older than I was, and she was an exotic dancer. She was a stripper actually in the City of Commerce there in Los Angeles. And so I moved down there, we got an apartment, and well, actually before we got an apartment I was living... I know, Mama, I just gave you a pain pill. You need to lie down and let it work, okay? You need to just lie down on your bed, give it about 20 minutes. Can you do that? She's walked away already. She does that. And I'm not going to edit that out because that's actually part of the reality of my life, so you might as well know it. Anyway, so I had moved in. I was sleeping in her mother's garage, which was converted to kind of a, little studio apartment thing, and we were looking for an apartment, and I decided I was going to go down to the beach one day. So I got my little Honda B210 and I tooled across Harbor Boulevard till I got to Pacific Coast Highway. Back then, I mean, if any of you guys who know that area now, it's all built up with all these resorts and, chain link fence and all that kind of stuff. Well, way back in the late 1970s, it was open and deserted, and Huntington Beach was this sleepy little surfer town. Very, it still had its kind of 50s vibe going on. Anyway, so I parked on PCH by Harbor Boulevard, and I don't know, I was probably wearing a bathing suit, shorts, a t-shirt, no wait, it wasn't shorts. I was wearing a bathing suit, a tube top, remember tube tops? A wrap skirt, and I was barefoot like a moron. Well, it was an overcast day, kind of cool. It just didn't even occur to me to put shoes on. I just parked the car on the sand, and off down I went towards the water. So I had a book, and I had a towel, and I had some water, and some, it wasn't sunscreen. You didn't use sunscreen back then. You used either bain de soleil, which was nothing but thick oil that smelled like coconut, or you used baby oil, but you didn't, and maybe sometimes you used Coppertone, but you never used any. The idea was to burn and tan. You wanted to get all red and brown and crusty. That was the whole point of being out in the sun. So anyhow, I did that for, I don't know, a few hours. When I showed up at the beach, it was overcast, right? A marine layer was in, and it was coolish. Not a ray of sun in the sky. By the time I decided it was time to go home, it was the afternoon. The marine layer had burned off, and it was warming up a little bit. So I had kind of wandered around, incidentally. I'd walk down the beach a little bit and back up, and I moved around a bit. I didn't go too far, I didn't think, but I did move around. So I packed up my stuff and I walked across the sand back up to where you would park along the street. Well, by the time I made it from where I was sitting to where the cars were, my feet were burning. I mean, they really hurt. So I found a little bit of shade and I stood in the shade and I was looking for my car. Where's my car? No car. Couldn't find my car. Couldn't see my car in either direction. So I sucked it up and I started walking in one direction. I probably went about, I don't know, maybe an eighth of a mile or so, maybe a tenth of a mile, maybe probably an eighth of a mile. No car. By this time my feet are on fire. They're just inflamed. So I wasn't in tears yet, right? But it was hurting pretty bad. So I didn't see my car, and I knew I was going to have to walk at least that far back and in the other direction. So what I did is I ran back across that sand, back down to the water, and I sat where the waves were coming up and the water was coming up, and I dug my poor hot little feet into the sand, and I kind of let that cold, Southern California water take a lot of the pain out. Okay, that was good. All right, okay, so I obviously screwed up, so I'm going to go in the other direction. So I get up, grab my stuff, haul ass across the sand again, get up to where the road is, start walking in the other direction, and by this time, my feet were blistered on the bottom. Still couldn't find my car, still couldn't see my car. Finally, I see this, I'm walking along like not a seawall, well yeah, it was like a seawall, and it cast a shadow, so I had a good 300 feet to walk that was in the shade. The sand was shaded, so even though my feet were blistered and the blisters were beginning to rupture, I wasn't on hot sand, it was on cool sand. So it hurt like hell, but it wasn't excruciating. Well, I'm getting close to the end of that shaded area, and I spotted my car, and my car was, I don't know, maybe, I would say about 300 feet or so from where I was. So it was, just I don't know how many length of cars that was. I could see it up there, let's put it that way. Oh, thank God, but that was still a long way to walk. And so, hang on. Mama, you already had a pain pill. What?
Maybe I need to go to the hospital.
No, you need to lie down, Mama. Just lie down. It'll take it about 20 minutes to really kick in. You need to lie down. Take the weight off your feet. Okay, so I could see the car. I'm walking down this shaded area, and it stopped. And I knew I had, that 300 feet left to go, probably, because I was right at the end of this thing when I saw it. And it was at that point I kind of just threw up my hands and I said, I can't do this, God. There's no way I can make it across hot sand. Oh, and by that time the sand had receded and it was tarmac that I was going to be walking on. Can you imagine? Tarmac with blistered, broken feet. I wouldn't have been able to do it. Anyway, so I'm like supplicating the heavens, I can't do this, you need to help me do this, because I cannot do this on my own. There's no way I can get over there, I'm stuck. And of course I'm crying, and there didn't seem to be anybody really paying any attention to me or around, so I couldn't ask somebody for help. There wasn't anybody to ask really. And I got to the end of that sand, I took 2 steps into the heat, and there, half buried in the sand, was a pair of brand new neoprene flip-flops in my size. Brand new. They looked like they had never been worn. they were half buried. I could see them, part of them sticking up. So of course, I bend over and I kind of carefully slide them on over my bloody, wet, sand-coated soles of my feet. And oh God, it hurt really bad, and I wished I could have washed off my feet before I did it, but I couldn't because there was no water. So I managed to pull them on, and I very carefully, gingerly, in horrible pain, hobbled to my car. It was very, very hard to drive home because it was a stick and everything was sliding around, and I was really scared that I was going to get an accident because I wouldn't be able to control the car. But I did get home, finally, to the apartment we were living in. I made it to the front door, unlocked the door, and then I ended up on my knees. I crawled for 2 days. I called in sick at work, and I literally crawled from place to place in order to get around my apartment. I didn't leave the house. After a couple of days, everything had kind of crusted over, and I was able to kind of bandage it up a little bit and, go on my merry way. So anyway, that's miracle, if you want to call it, or paranormal experience, or maybe even karma, maybe, number one. Number two is a shorter story, and I'm not going to split it up. I'm going to tell you on this one. Gosh, I love my hair big. I like this thing hanging down here too. Anyhow, this happened about 20 years later. I'm in the car with my then boyfriend Tom, and we're driving toward the setting sun on a fairly busy residential street with cross traffic. And we get up to a stop sign, and there's no one around, and the sun is this glorious pink and gold and orange, ball that's setting in this beautiful purple and blue and turquoise sky. It was just magnificent. And I had stopped at the stop sign, and I took my foot off the gas, and I started to go into the intersection, and Tom, he reaches over and he grabs my arm, and he says, "Wait," he said, "there's nobody behind us. Let's just look at it," which was kind of a reference to that movie Wall Street, where they've got all the food sitting out, and Michael Douglas's character says, "Let's just look at it." Anyway, so he was making a funny ha. So I did. I put my foot back on the brake. I would say, count of 3, crossing the intersection right in front of us was a pickup truck speeding. Of course, it didn't stop. It was probably going 70. I mean, you know how streets will dip down and then up and then down and up when you go through intersections? He hit the dip, flew, the car bounced, and then he was off. It had to have been 70 miles an hour. Right behind him, I mean right behind him, is a police car. Lights were on. Siren wasn't on, so we didn't hear the guys coming. And so boom, boom, right in front of our car. Tom looks at me, and I look at Tom, and we both started to shake. I mean, we knew that had I proceeded into the intersection, I would certainly be dead because it was coming. I would have T-boned me on the driver's side. Tom probably would have been dead. We were in a small, like a Toyota Tercel or something like that, a smallish car. And it was a miracle, a paranormal, pat on the head that kept us from dying that afternoon. And we still talk about that to this day. We still bring that up. That was seems to me all I've been talking to you guys lately is indelible memories. I mean, these little bits of my life that have come with me and been formative somehow. Well, that was formative. So, yeah, there are my miracles, and my big hair, and my, well, let's see if we can see this. I have on lip gloss that has glitter in it. Isn't that funny? Oh, Lord have mercy, look at that. Oh, I like that. Hey, check this out, you guys. It gets rid of the double chin. Whoa! Okay, this is the fat girl pose on YouTube. Oh, God. Love you all. Talk to you later. Bye.